Let me say it out loud so the keyboard warriors in the back can hear. Expensive doesn't mean better. Half the guns sitting in those glass cases right now are overpriced, overhyped deadweights. Meanwhile, these budget pistols are running mag after mag, holding zero, and outshooting pistols that cost double or triple. This video ain't for the brand badge crowd. It's for shooters who care about names, only what survives in the dirt, the cold, and the holster. I've seen $1,200 pistols jam, while a $300 gun just kept firing. These pistols don't look fancy, and nor do they get Instagram likes, but they work, they last, they'll do their damn job when it counts. So let's break down the best value pistols of 2025 and why they're embarrassing the big names this year. This is Steve, and I'll see you in the next vid. I'm not here to sugarcoat. This isn't a list of good guns for the price. These are straight up workhorses that you trust for carry, defense, or putting holes in steel all day without needing a second mortgage. And I've got stories, real stories. Let's start with a pistol that costs less than half a Glock but runs twice as hard. Not every man's looking for the shiniest iron in the case. Some just want a pistol that won't break apart on the counter and won't quit when it matters. And that's where the P15 slides in. Most guns in its lane, slim, light, carry ready, ask near double the money. Folks with deeper pockets will sneer, but the man on a budget knows the score. 15 rounds in a frame this thin means you walk out with more than what you pay for. You don't buy it to show off at the range, you buy it to tuck and trust, plain and simple. Truth is, Kel-Tec didn't set out to impress the Glock crowd. They built a P15 for the guy who counts his change at the register, who needs one pistol to do it all. And that's why they keep moving. Not because it's pretty, not because it's perfect, but because it answers the question, what can I actually afford to carry that still gives me a fighting chance? That's the kind of value no fancy nameplate can laugh off. Every pistol dreams of being the standard. Truth is, it's a curse more than a crown, and that's what the Glock 19 carries. For decades, it's been the yardstick. Every new pistol that crawls out of the factory gets measured against it, and whether folks admit it or not, most fall short. Problem is, living that long on top makes enemies. I've heard it all. Overrated, boring, and plastic brick. Whole companies built their names trying to knock it down, while forums wasted years arguing it's finished. But every time the dust settles, the 19's still there, riding on hits, tucked in drawers, and waiting for trouble. Some people hate by them, swear they'd sell it, and then never look back. Dependable don't make headlines, but it does keep you alive. And that's the part no pistols manage to erase. The 19 doesn't beg for your trust, it already earned it 1,000 times over. And maybe that's the real weight of the crown, carrying the respect of the world even when half of it spits on your name. But if you reckon a king can't be challenged, wait till you see the outlaw clone that forced folks to be quiet, the PSA Dagger Compact. Not every pistol is meant to shine in the glass case. Some are built for polish, some just to get dirty. The Security 9, however, that's the kind you toss in the glove box, forget about for a spell, then drag it out when it matters. Don't need babying, don't need showing off. It just barks when you squeeze. I've handled plenty of them. Feels light, almost too light, like it don't belong in a fight. But once you send a few rounds through it, it steadies up. Ain't got the crispiest trigger, hell, feels mushy at times, but it breaks the same way every time, and that's all a man really asks for. Folks used to sneer at it, call it a poor man's pistol, and the funny thing is, I kept seeing them come back to the range, scratched up, beat down, but still spitting brass steady. Truth don't lie on paper ads, it shows in the dirt. It's not a pistol you brag about, but it's one you can count on when the sun dips and things turn mean. And if you reckon value stops here, wait till you see what's next. A budget piece built with European steel in its bones. Most folks don't even think Beretta when they hear budget, but that's the twist with the PX4 Storm. This isn't the old M9 workhorse. This is Beretta trying something different, lighter, cheaper, but still built like a gun that won't leave you stranded. Rotating barrel, smooth recoil, and a trigger that feels cleaner than pistols twice the price. I remember seeing one tucked behind the glass at a small shop. Guy walked right past it to eye the flashy stuff until the dealer leaned in and said, "That one's been moving faster than you think." Sure enough, he picked it up, and a week later, I saw him back on the line running mag after mag with a grin. The Storm never got the hype, and maybe that's why it works. It's quiet value, no headlines, no crowds, but folks who actually shoot it, they know. Reliable, controllable, and priced where even Glock fans had to take a second look. You want a pistol that proves affordable doesn't mean cheap? The PX4 Storm does just that. Here's what grabbed folks first: the tag. For years, FN meant top shelf prices, the kind only duty contracts or rich boys could swallow. But then this little compact tactical started sitting on counters with a number low enough to make men stop in their tracks. That price alone makes folks lean closer. And once they did, they realized it weren't just some stripped down knockoff. Threaded barrel, optics cut, a feel in the hand that carried like a compact but barked like a full size. All the parts that usually cost extra were right there in the box. I've watched shooters step up with a grin, thinking they'd found a bargain toy, then walk away quiet after it ate every mag without a hiccup. It's not the cheapest pistol on this list, but compared to where FN used to sit, it was a shocker. A war gun name finally hitting a price folks could stomach. That's why it sold. Not because of hype, but because for once, an FN gave more than it took, and men noticed. Some pistols come with a clear purpose. The XD-E never did. It showed up in a world already leaning striker-fired, yet Springfield tried to sell it as the unique choice. A DASC hammer-fired nobody really asked for. On paper, it looked like Springfield's way of giving shooters options. But in truth, it felt like the odd cousin at the reunion, caught between the Polymer XD line and the company's beloved 1911s. Early buyers thought they were getting something different, maybe even special. Slim frame, Springfield's name stamped on the slide, a trigger system that felt old school, but once they carried it a while, the cracks started showing. That long first pull turned every draw into work. The grip safety felt out of place, and aftermarket support was practically non-existent. Holsters, upgrades, replacement parts, the shelf stayed bare. Shooters started mocking it real quick. Springfield's orphan, the gun nobody asked for, and they weren't wrong. Springfield never fully backed it, and it slowly slid into the shadows. Yet for a stretch, brand loyalty alone pushed units out the door, outselling pistols that honestly deserved better. Proof that a big name can move steel, but can't keep it loved. The SAR 9 Compact comes from a name most folks still stumble over, but that hasn't stopped it from carving a lane. Built in Turkey, sold cheap, and mocked by plenty who never ran one. Yet every shooter I watched put rounds through it walked away surprised. Grip feels molded for the hand, recoil stays soft, and it tracks like a gun costing twice as much. The finish isn't premium and the trigger's not refined, but the thing runs clean and keeps on barking. That's what really matters. Dealers once kept them tucked low in the case, but not anymore. They move quicker now. Folks catch wind of a reliable 9 that don't punish the wallet and it don't sit long. call it a sleeper, call it an underdog, but in 2025, the SAR9 Compact proved value don't always wear a famous name. The G2C is the pistol everybody likes to laugh at. Cheap Taurus, plastic carry gun, get what you pay for. I heard all of it before I ran one, and then I watched the truth. This little pistol might feel plain in your hand, but this does what too many overlook. It runs. Trigger's gritty, finish looks basic, but mag after mag, it just keeps cycling. No jams, no stovepipes, no excuses. And that's what separates it from its cousin, the G3C. Folks complained about that one choking, but the G2C carved out its own spot by just being steady. It's the kind of gun that doesn't make you proud at the counter, but it makes you confident at the range. The other thing? Price. When you snag one for less than half a Glock, you start to understand why they vanish quick. New shooters grab it as the very first carry piece, veterans stash it as a backup, but either way, the racks don't stay full. Call it ugly, call it budget, but the G2C keeps proving that value isn't about polish, it's about a pistol that just won't quit even when folks swear it would. Most folks laugh when they hear it. Stoeger making a pistol? Stick to shotguns, they say. I thought the same too, till I saw one run. It don't shout for attention, no fancy ads, no big name fan clubs, just a plain pistol that works harder than it ought to. It barks steady, box after box, without any stumble or excuses. I've seen shooters pick it up just for their kicks, then walk off shaking their heads, muttering that it shoots straighter than they figured. Ain't got the aftermarket, ain't got the flash, but maybe that's what makes it valuable. It don't live off hype, it lives off the truth you see when the brass hits dirt. That's why it keeps disappearing from counters. Folks might not admit it out loud, but they're buying them quiet, knowing they've got a pistol that'll run without emptying their wallet. And if this underdog earned your respect, wait till you see the next one, built for duty, dressed for the fight, but still priced like a bargain. Some guns are born with a name carved in stone. Others gotta fight tooth and nail just to be heard. The Dagger Compact falls square in that second camp. First time I laid eyes on it, folks were calling it a cheap Glock copy, laughing like it didn't belong on the same shelf. But still don't care about names. Out on the line, the Dagger barked like it had something to prove. Round after round, it just kept running. Wasn't smooth or even polished, but it damn sure didn't quit. I've watched men roll their eyes at it, load a mag out of curiosity, and then go quiet when it spat brass as steady as the big boys. It don't got the pedigree, it don't got the shine, but what it certainly got is grit. The kind that wins folks over one pull at a time. That's the funny thing about value. Sometimes it ain't about what's stamped on the slide, it's about a pistol that don't back down no matter who's doubting. And if a copy can turn heads like that, just wait till you see the next one. A throwback design still hanging on in 2025 for better or worse. How often do you see a pistol built for competition drop into the value category? Almost never. The Canik Rival-S flipped that script. Heavy steel frame, long slide cuts, fiber optic front sight. All the stuff you expect on a gun that normally runs you north of $1,000. Yet here it sits, priced where regular shooters can actually touch it. On the line, the weight works in your favor. Recoil barely lifts, sights track flat, and the flat-face trigger breaks clean like somebody already paid a gunsmith to tune it. Only thing is, nobody did. It's bone stock right out of the box. Instead of just being a pretty showpiece, this thing proves its worth the hard way. Range rats have fed it dirty ammo, cheap reloads, you name it. And the Rival-S keeps spitting brass without flinching. No limp excuses, no, well, it's just a budget gun fallback. It just runs steady and stubborn like a workhorse in a tux. That's why the Rival-S deserves a place here. It shows that value isn't always about going cheap. Sometimes it's about getting a taste of high-end performance at a price that doesn't bleed you dry. And if this is the starter at number 13, wait till you see what's coming next. Range was busy that day. Brass raining down like summer hail, and I caught sight of a young fella setting it up with something small and square on the line. Didn't think much of it. Looked like another compact nobody would remember, but then the first shot cracked and his group landed tight, damn near one ragged hole. Second mag, same story. I leaned over, asked what he was running. He just grinned and held up the P10S. Now, CZ's always had a name for building pistols that shoot straighter than they should, but folks didn't expect their striker-fired compact to bite this hard. Grip melts into your palm, slide tracks flat, sights snap right back where you need them. Ain't oversized, ain't tactical theater, just a small pistol fighting above its weight. What struck me wasn't the sheet of paper, but the way that shooter carried himself after. Quiet confidence, no chest thumping, no look at me. Just the kind of trust you only get when the steel in your hand delivers every time. That's value right there. A pistol that don't just talk on paper, but proves itself in the dirt under the eyes of everyone watching it. There's a reason this little Smith sits at the top. Not the flashiest gun and not the newest either, but sometimes the quiet ones run the hardest. The Shield Plus was never meant to win you over with looks. What it did was fix a problem every carry guy complained about. Too few rounds and too small a gun. And now you've got 13 in the stack without bulking up your waistband. Triggers crisp enough, recoil stays same, and the thing just disappears under a shirt. It's the pistol you forget is even there until you need it. And when you do, it won't hesitate. I've seen plenty of shooters chase trends, grabbing the latest micro this and optic ready that. But when they circle back, it's often the Shield Plus they end up keeping. Because that does the one thing that every carry gun should. It works every damn time. Price? Fair enough that working men keep buying them. Dealers don't even have to pitch it anymore. Folks just ask for it by name. Funny thing about this pistol, when it first hit the shelves, most folks walked right on by, sat there quiet like an orphan nobody claimed. Dealers didn't push it, shooters didn't ask for it, and the name didn't ring the same as Glock or Smith. Israeli weapon industries, to most buyers here, that might as well have been written in sand. But then, a few folks pulled the trigger. Slim frame, optics ready straight from the box, more rounds than the old single stacks ever held. Recoil stayed tame, the gun kept cycling, and it just worked. Mag after mag, no stutter, no choke. It earned trust not with ads or fancy names, but with every shot fired. The conflict's clear as daylight. Critics still sneer, call it a budget import, while polishing pistols twice the price that stumble half as often. But the counters tell a different story. Shelves that once collected dust are now wiped clean the moment these arrived. That's how an underdog wakes up. The Masada Slim went from a ghost on the shelf to a pistol men actually fight over. And by 2025, it's outselling names that never saw it coming. Everyone told me to skip it. Single stack, fewer rounds, Beretta plastic, that's amateur hour. But then I watched a guy, uniform off, steel toe boots on, carry this little beast in the summer heat of 100-degree Fahrenheit tucked in a jeans waistband. No fanfare, no brand badge flex, just sweat, shifts, and the APX making it through the day. He said, when you're paying rent, feeding your kid, and still putting wood through the shop at night, you can't afford drama. I got this because I needed something that works. The rest of you wanted pretty. The APX A1 didn't win because of specs, it won because it survived. It rides light, it hides easy, it punches heavy for the price. And here's the twist. You'll pay $7,000 for a premium carry gun. You'll clean it every weekend, worry about mags, upgrades, and appearances. This one, you buy it, you carry it, you forget about it until the moment you need it. That's value. And if you're chasing best value in 2025, this price down Beretta might just be your smartest move yet. I don't care what's in your safe. If you spend more than $600 on a pistol and it still jams, you paid for ego, not performance. The guns we covered today aren't just affordable, they're battle-tested bargains, trusted by bro comps, new shooters, and range dogs who shoot more in a week than most people do in a year. Want more guns that hit way above their price tag? Hit that subscribe button and drop your budget banger in the comments. I might feature it in the next video.